Venice, a city so impossibly beautiful, it feels like it was imagined before it was built. Rising like a mirage from the Adriatic Sea, its pastel buildings, rippling canals, and timeless bridges evoke a romance and mystery no place on earth can quite match. But behind the postcard perfection is a story unlike any other, a story of survival, invention, and paradoxes. A city that should never have existed. And yet, it has defied time itself. While most cities are founded on practicality, dry land, trade routes, defensive terrain, Venice was built on water, by people fleeing war and seeking sanctuary. What they created became one of the most powerful and enduring cities in history. But even today, its reality is stranger than fiction. From disappearing streets to ghostly populations, what's happening beneath the surface of Venice will absolutely change the way you see it. 1. Built on trees, at first glance, you'd think Venice floats. In a way, it does, but not on magic. It's built on millions of wooden stakes, driven deep into the lagoon's muddy bed. These aren't just any logs, either, they're alder wood, a tree that thrives in wet environments. When submerged, alder becomes almost like stone. Deprived of oxygen, it resists decay. Venice's entire foundation depends on this ancient engineering. It's the reason centuries-old buildings still stand today. Imagine building a skyscraper on popsicle sticks, that's how absurd this feat sounds in theory. But the Venetians mastered this technique over 1,000 years ago. These submerged forests of timber, supporting marble palaces and basilicas, are one of the most mind-blowing architectural accomplishments in human history. Other cities build on rock. Venice? On trees. 2. Sinks every year. Despite its engineering marvel, Venice is sinking. Every year, it slips a little deeper, about 1 to 2 millimeters annually. Over the past century, it has sunk nearly 9 inches. This process, called subsidence, is caused by the natural settling of the ground combined with the extraction of groundwater over time. Rising sea levels from climate change only accelerate the problem. This isn't a theoretical concern, it's a daily reality. Entire areas of the city that were dry in the early 20th century now experience regular flooding. Compare Venice to Amsterdam, another canal city. Both battle water daily, but while Amsterdam has aggressive flood defenses, Venice is still in a delicate dance with nature. It's a city slowly slipping away, one tide at a time. 3. No cars allowed. In Venice, wheels are irrelevant. There are no cars, no buses, not even bicycles. The layout of the city, narrow, maze-like alleys and winding waterways, makes vehicles impossible. Instead, people get around the way they have for centuries, by foot or by boat. The Vaporetto, a public water bus, is the closest thing to a city bus you'll find here. This forces a slower pace. It's part of Venice's unique charm. Life isn't rushed. You don't hear engines, only footsteps and the gentle splash of oars. While cities like Los Angeles are defined by freeways, Venice is defined by footpaths and ferry docks. It's one of the few places left on Earth where silence is still part of the city soundscape. 4. Flooded more than 100 times a year, the beauty of Venice comes at a cost: water. Every year, the city experiences acqua alta, or high water, over 100 times. These floods aren't once-in-a-century disasters, they're seasonal events that regularly submerge squares, alleys, and doorsteps. St. Mark's Square, the city's lowest point, is the first to go underwater, sometimes for days at a time. Locals adapt with raised walkways, waterproof boots, and mobile apps that predict flooding. Still, it's a reminder that Venice is constantly negotiating with the sea. While London and Tokyo build barriers and levees, Venice continues to live with the water, not against it. Every flood is both a nuisance and a warning. 5. World's first casino. Venice is where modern gambling was born. In 1638, it opened the world's first public casino, Ca Vendramin Kalergi. This elegant palace wasn't just a gambling hall, it was a place for aristocrats to socialize, strategize, and indulge. The rules were strict, the dress code tighter, but the thrill? Eternal. That very same building still operates as a casino today, nearly 400 years later. Picture it, opulent chandeliers, whispered bets, masked nobles. Venice made gambling glamorous long before Las Vegas lit up. It's a city that practically invented high-stakes elegance, proof that while the dice may roll differently today, the house still has Venetian roots. 6. Has over 400 bridges. Venice is made of 118 islands and stitched together by over 400 bridges. They arch over canals like stone ribbons, each one unique. Some are grand and sculpted, others simple and narrow. But only 4 bridges cross the Grand Canal, the city's main artery. Other cities brag about skylines. Venice brags about bridge lines. Compare that to cities like Paris, which has about 37 bridges over the Seine. Venice triples that across smaller waterways. Each bridge here isn't just infrastructure. It's a meeting point, a viewfinder, a memory in stone. 7. Home to the narrowest street. Hidden in Venice is Calle Verisco, a street so narrow it's more like a crack in the wall, just 53 centimeters wide. That's barely enough space for one person to pass through. No tourist groups here. Just you and the walls. Brushing shoulders, streets like this remind us how ancient this city really is. Before wide boulevards and zoning codes, Venice was built for walking, whispering, and hiding. Calle Verisco isn't just a street, it's a secret passage back in time. 8. No sewage system. Yes, it's true. Venice has no modern underground sewage system. Instead, waste is funneled into septic tanks or directly into canals, then carried out to sea by the tides. It sounds alarming, but it works better than you'd think. The constant flow of saltwater helps cleanse the city naturally. Still, Venice's approach is a strange balance of old and new. While cities like Singapore boast high-tech wastewater treatment, Venice relies on the movement of the moon. It's a reminder that the city survives not because it controls nature, but because it dances with it. 9. A city of ghosts. Venice is one of the most visited cities in the world, but paradoxically, it's becoming a ghost town. With over 20 million tourists a year and just 50,000 residents left in the historic center, Venice is hollowing out. High living costs, lack of job opportunities, and over-tourism are pushing locals away. What's left behind are silent courtyards, shuttered homes, and shops selling souvenirs instead of essentials. Venice today is both alive and fading, its beauty preserved, but its soul slowly evaporating. It's the ultimate paradox, a city loved to death. Venice is more than just a travel destination, it's a living contradiction. A place of wonder and warning. It teaches us that innovation doesn't always mean progress, and that sometimes the most fragile things are also the most enduring. Built on wood, shaped by water, and scarred by time, Venice remains suspended between the past and the present, between myth and reality. It reminds us of what we could lose if we don't learn to live in harmony with our world. So the next time you hear about Venice, remember, it's not just a city, it's a story. A story still being written. One tide at a time.